Today we're diving into a provocative and timely work, Limitations, The Moral Necessity of Boundaries by S.C. Sales. So what's the big idea here? Why all the buzz about boundaries? Let's get into it, right? So first of all, as always, I'm here to, present and explore Sales' ideas neutrally. I'm not endorsing or pushing any argument, just kind of unpacking what the research and, in this case, philosophical analysis are saying so you can make up your own mind, all right? Cool. The core question Sales takes up is, why does modern society seem to distrust boundaries? Moral boundaries, social boundaries, limits of any kind? Why are we so suspicious of, drawing a line anywhere? Sales argues this suspicion has become a signature of our time. He dubs it the age of the shrug, which, I have to say, is a pretty striking phrase. We signal awareness, but we don't want to make judgments, because judgment is scary. It feels, dogmatic or risky, or like it could end up hurting someone. So, we shrug. But Sales wants to know, what are the consequences of living like this? And, even more importantly, who pays the price when boundaries are blurred or denied? What's at stake here? Well, if you've noticed, anxiety, polarization, and instability in public life, or in your own workplace or community, this book offers one possible explanation. Sales claims that when virtues like tolerance, freedom, inclusion, even empathy spiral out past their intended purposes, when they're treated as absolutes and become detached from any kind of limit, they can end up turning on themselves. Virtues become vices just through excess, not through malice. Whoa, right? Okay, how does Sales actually approach this argument? The book is structured as 9 little books, short, tightly reasoned chapters. Each one tackles a different cherished ideal: explanation, neutrality, relativism, tolerance, freedom, inclusion, equality, empathy, and harm. The thread tying it all together? None of these are bad things. Actually, Sales insists, they're foundational for modern life. But if we treat tolerance, for example, as if it must always and everywhere trump everything else, we lose the ability to judge between right and wrong. If empathy must override all other considerations, it can actually blind us to justice. You get the idea. Limits are the stuff that make these virtues work. Let's zoom in on a few of the key arguments, just to give you some meat to chew on. First, explanation versus meaning. Sales says, modern thought often confuses explaining something with understanding it. We explain fear neurologically or love biologically, and then, oops, we think we've already captured what those things are. But for Sales, explanation describes how something works. It doesn't tell us what it means or why it matters. That's a pretty powerful distinction. Second key idea, neutrality, so hot right now. But Sales argues that refusing to judge isn't actually neutral, it just shifts responsibility. Silence helps maintain the status quo, and in real life that often means the vulnerable bear the burden. Think of a teacher who never takes sides in classroom fights. Neutral, technically, but who benefits? Not the kids getting picked on, that's for sure. Another chapter that really struck me is about inclusion. Sales draws this sharp line between inclusion, letting people in, and belonging, feeling like you really fit. You can include someone in a group, but unless the group has some shared meaning or purpose, everyone just kind of floats. If no limits or commitments are articulated, then, everyone starts to walk on eggshells, or at least that's Sales' take. I won't walk through every chapter, but you see the pattern, yeah? Each virtue has an essential role, but only up to a certain point. Without limits, without a sense of proportion, the ideal ends up undermining itself. Tolerance without boundaries is fragile. Freedom without responsibility is, weirdly, not freedom. Empathy without judgment, it's sentiment, but not justice. Sales isn't telling us what every boundary should be, just that without some boundaries, our most cherished virtues twist out of shape and sometimes cause the very confusion or harm they set out to prevent. What does this mean for you? Maybe you'll find sales analysis clarifies the dilemmas you see at work or school or in the news.